Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to another video. This is how to release a production under the Demoscene. Get a lot of questions from new Demosceners on how they're supposed to release. A lot of questions surrounding it, and I thought I could make a FAQ and try to answer all of these little doubts. And it might also be useful for some old Demosceners who don't really remember all of the things or don't know how to explain to a newcomer. You can just check out this video or share this video with other people, and hopefully it helps. Anyway, let's get right into it. First question on how to release a Demoscene production. Does it need to be original work? The short answer is usually yes. Remix work or derivative work is also somehow accepted. In some countries, copyright laws are more strict on the use that you can make over derivative work, but usually on the Demoscene you are expected to be doing original work. You can be referencing other people, it can be like a homage to other people, but it should be your own. Don't just take something from someone else, like random post on DeviantArt, and claim that it's your work. Please don't do that. Please credit and respect other creatives accordingly. Another question that also happens a lot in the Demoscene is, does the work that I release on the Demoscene, does it need to be copyright free? Am I relinquishing all my copyright on the work? No. Copyright on a work that you did is always yours. Always. From the moment it is created, the copyright is yours. What you usually do, that big corporations want you to do, is that you license your copyright to be used by someone else specifically. So by definition, if you haven't done anything, if you haven't registered your work anywhere, the copyright on your work is still yours. Even if you allow someone else to do some use with it, like distribute it online, or share it with other people, or remix it, the original work is always copyrighted to you. You always have the copyright for it. It doesn't need to be public domain or copyright free to be released on the Demoscene. It can be your copyright. What usually parties request is that you are aware when you are uploading your release to be released on the Demoscene that it will be spread. And that's a known acceptance from the Demoscene. Since before copyright started being enforced, since before Creative Commons became a thing, Demoscene already existed, was already sharing works, and the common ground is that once it's released, it will be spread throughout the other platforms of the Demoscene, and it will be archived historically. You might want to... There are some... How can I say this? There are some certain aspects of some releases where you might want to hide some information. Like, for example, you did a release back in the 80s, had your home address. You don't want to have your home address exposed anymore, or someone took a photo of you. You don't want your photo online linked to your real name, and Demoscene, for the most part, tries to honor those kind of requests. It doesn't make that kind of information public to a large degree, and that is one of the rare instances where we, the Demoscene, don't archive the original work completely, and we redact it in some way to protect some people that might need that protection. But for the most part, once you release something, it becomes... Once a few years has been passed, they're not very accessed regularly, so it's very rare that someone goes digging through a lot of older stuff. So just be careful in your future releases for those kind of issues, and you should be fine. So does it need to be copyright free? No, it doesn't. Copyright is always yours, but please be aware that your release, once released, will be spread throughout the whole internet and critiqued and commented, and you won't be able to just pretend that it was never released. Does it need to be previously unreleased? Not completely. Most demo parties have this requirement. It needs to be completely original work. If you're releasing as a solo artist, it's fine to release previously unreleased stuff. If you changed it a little bit, you can upgrade release a new version, for example. It depends on the kind of work that we're talking about. If it's code, it's normal that it has several versions. If it's a piece of graphics, if it's already online, you can just, upload it to a Demoscene, and you are a Demoscene a graphics artist, you can just upload to a Demoscene server that will historically keep track of these kind of things. It's considered released at the first date that you put it online. You can always re-release something in a different pack. Like if we're talking about graphics, you can re-release it inside an art pack or a slideshow or a disc mag. If it's music, you can always re-release it as a part of a music disc or some other release. So it's usually fine if it was previously unreleased or if it was previously released in some other form. Only some demo parties request that it has never been released officially. So be aware of where you are releasing it, and you should mostly be fine. Another question that happens a lot is, does it need to be released at the demo party for it to be an official Demoscene release? No. On the old days, a lot of releases were released completely outside of a demo party. They were just spread throughout the internet. Still today, you can just upload your release either to your own website or preferably to scene.org, so it's more historically archived. Some place that will have a definite location, not some place that will be temporary, like Dropbox or WeTransfer or something like that. Needs to be something permanent, and then you can add the release to different websites that contain a release. CSTB if it's a Commodore 64 release, demozoo.org, poet.net. Those are the usual websites where you usually see the information on new releases that just came out. Next we have, how do I package my release properly? What does properly mean? So most releases are expected to be inside a zip archive. The production itself inside the zip file with an info file. And what I mean by info file is a text file that explains what the release is exactly. From traditional, we used to have a file format called file_id.diz. And this comes back from the BBS days and FTP days, where every .zip file would have this file id.diz inside of it, and it would auto-extract automatically and show the information. It would be very short, limited to 80 columns by 15, 20 lines, and it would just say exactly what is the content of the zip file. This was to have like a sort of preview information before you download the whole file. This was back on the days where downloading something would take you a very long time, and you want to see exactly what it is before you download it. So it's customary to have that file. Nowadays people are not so hard on it, but it's usually good form if you have file id.diz file saying just exactly what it is, what platform it's for, how do you run it exactly, if you need a specific version of a certain computer or certain operating system, if you need a certain library, the group that released or the artist that released, the date that it was released at, and the demo party that it was released at, if it was released at the demo party. If you need more long information on what the contents it is, usually you have an infofile.txt or an infofile.info. It can also be in markdown format. readme.md also does the trick nowadays. Just something that will explain what the production is and how to play it. Think about in 5 years' time or 10 years' time, what do you need to know to be able to play this thing properly, so that people get contextualized on what you had to do or what you had to use to create the piece of work, like giving some context on how the production was made and how to replay it as you're meant to hear it. If it's a specific, tracker file format, you need to explain that it needs to be played with certain like Vortex Tracker 2.6 before it was upgraded to a beta something. All of these small details on how to replay your track, how to see your graphics, if it's for a specific platform, if it's a binary for a specific platform, what to use, what emulators you checked that it worked well on, which ones you didn't, how to make it run, pretty much. That's the summary of it. And yeah, make sure to include these files and preferably use a .zip instead of .rar or .7z because zip is more common to extract. And most archiving programs support .zip nowadays anyways. And also make sure that the file name is all undercase and doesn't have any spaces on it. Underscores are usually used instead of spaces. No funny characters. Stick with the original UTF-8 stuff, and you should be good. How do I release at a demo party? Well, usually demo parties have information on how to release directly. Most demo parties used to have a local LAN system. When you reach the party physically, you have you can connect to the network, and you would have an address where you would go and upload your release. You could also sometimes go to the info desk or the compo team with a pen drive or a disk drive or a CD-ROM. I remember delivering some productions in CD-ROM. You say, okay, here is my entry for compo XNX. Nowadays, most parties have a submission system, which is just a web page, usually hosted either on the local network of the party or on the internet itself. You go to that web page, you log in. Sometimes you have a vote key that you get at the info desk to avoid people having multiple accounts on the party system, so it's unique for a single visitor. And you use that party system to log in and upload your release, and then we'll get some feedback from the comp organizer if it's approved, if it's not approved, and you might need to do some follow-up in terms of questions or contact the compo team. If there's anything drastic, you usually get a call on the system, people saying that person who did production something, please come to the compo team so you can explain something, some details, or bring a final version or something like that. But usually those are the minimum steps. You go to the party itself and you upload the release there before you upload it somewhere else. It's a relatively common mistake. I've seen it happen a few times that a newcomer doesn't know how to release at the demo party. They think that the demo party will just play the latest things that was released, similar to what some movie things, some movie festivals do. So they release the production before the actual party, and that's not allowed in the Demoscene. Demoscene is very specific that you have to submit it to the party organizers. The party organizers will show it, and once it's shown, then you are allowed to distribute it online, put it up on the different websites that you want to distribute it on. And usually you should wait for the demo party organizers to spread the file, but you can always spread your own final version of the file, which links us back to the next question. How do I release outside a demo party? So you can still release when you're not at the demo party. The demo party will take care of uploading the files to scene.org for you. Well, most of the times they should do that. Some don't because they're silly and don't like to have their stuff archived properly. But usually it's the demo party organization's job to spread the releases after the party. If you don't want to release at the party, that's also fine. You can just upload your production to the different Demoscene websites and just call it an out of demo party release. Usually scene.org is the main place where you want to archive all stuff from whatever platform. I'm going to show you real quick how it looks like if I change to this screen. So the root of scene.org, it has information on how to upload, so you should read this. Has demos, graphics, mags, mirrors, music, and parties. So if you're doing a new demo and want to release it outside of the demo compo, usually you have to go to demos and upload it. If you're a group, you can upload it as a group, and if you're an artist, you can upload it as an artist. And this will be released outside of any parties. If you're a graphics artist on the Demoscene, you can also do it here. If you are uploading a disc magazine, you upload it to mags. If you do uploading music, you upload it to music. Same things with all these things. Resources is for miscellaneous stuff like source code, special tools, things like that. And parties itself is for where the parties release thing is sorted by year. As you can see, you can go to the latest one and you can see the list of the parties. Let's go, for example, for Evoke. You see the list of all the different categories that had there. And if you go to the info, you usually also have a results.txt showing the results of the party. So this is the most common way that you access releases from a specific party is through scene.org. For you to be able to upload to scene.org, they don't have a web system for you to upload, so you need to have a program, an FTP program. FileZilla is the one that I use, and I highly recommend it, but there are plenty around. You just connect to scene.org as an anonymous user, log on anonymous, you connect, and then you go to incoming and you select the stuff that you want. They have a special folder for apply, which used to be very used on the late 90s, early 2000s to, if you're a Demoscene person and you don't have a directory, or a Demoscene group and you don't have a directory at scene.org, you would use the apply to create to request that they create the directory for you. Now this is not very common, mostly because if you are already an established group, they will just move the stuff automatically. But if it's, for example, a music group and it's not that related to the Demoscene, you might not get approved. So they want to archive only Demoscene related stuff not related to Demoscene. And that's why apply is important. Also, it was a time when space was very much more relevant than it is today. Nowadays, they have more space available for things. So yeah, but mostly you go to the directory that you want. If it's a demo, you go directly to demos. If you're an artist, if you just done a compo, if you a compo outside of a party, a compilation of demos, or if you're a group, for example, go to groups, create a group. There's a few entries from Paradox created here. You can just create your own directory. For example, your group name is called Banana Boat Software. You create a directory called Banana Boat Software, you enter it, you upload your zips there, and then you wait for one of the scene.org administrators to move it. Usually happens within a week, depending how busy they've been lately. So that's the bare minimum of that. So yeah, after it's been moved to the final location inside scene.org, then you can use that final address to announce it on the different websites, Point.net, Demozoo, CSTB, all that stuff. I see CSTB hosts their own things because Commodore files are so small. Anyways, next topic, who handles the upload of new releases? If you release at a demo party, usually it's the work of the party organizers. Some are a bit slower than others, but usually you expect them to release the version that they received. If you want to do a final version where you have, I don't know, additional care, sometimes you did things in a hurry and you, by the time you submitted, you already thought of other like small fixes that you did or written a better text file explaining things. You can always do a final version of the production, just call it _final or something like that, .zip, and you can upload that version yourself to scene.org. Follow the same party schemes that I mentioned before: the year, the party name, the directory of the category of the competition which you participated on, and you can upload it there, and someone will eventually move it. If the party organizer doesn't do that, then you have to do it. If it's if you are the party organizer, you have to do these things. And a lot of party organizers also don't really know or remember to do all these things. Separate everything by categories. Make sure that everything is zipped. Make sure that everything has a clear name. Like if you have a competition about, I don't know, Faryan boats, don't call every production faryan.zip. farian2.zip. You have to have some sort of attributive name. So it's good form to rename those files that are just generic names, to have like the group name hyphen the title of the production. If it's a photo that just says photo.jpg, zip it in a file that says something else, like the name of the person who submitted it hyphen the name of the photo itself. It's good form to do this for all competitions. Include the info files as much as possible. Include the original as much as possible, not derivative work that you might have done to show it. If you have the video, it's also a good form to. Some people prefer to include the video in the zip. Some people prefer to have it outside. Personally, I prefer to have the video outside. So if you just want to download the binary, I have just a binary there. But call it with the same name as the zip. So that one is .mp4 and the other one is .zip. So you see that there's both versions there. Or you can also zip the video and call it _video on the file name. There are multiple ways to handle that, but mostly you want to zip the things as much as possible. If they're MP3s, it's usually fine to have them there as it is. If it's a tracked format, it's usually fine to have it there. But if there is a text file associated, usually want it inside a zip, and especially make sure that every single different category of competition that you have has its own directory, explicitly named. Same rules as before. Try to have everything in lowercase, no uppercase or camel case stuff, and avoid spaces, because spaces are usually a problem in web. So use underscores for all the spaces, all the special characters, don't use them, just use underscore and hyphens to distinguish the stuff. Those are the base rules. Scene.org people have some scripts to clean that up in this way, but if you upload it already following these rules, it's much easier, more convenient for them to just apply it. These are the main things. Next question: who adds the information on the websites? Usually it's good form to wait for the person who released the production to upload it, to create the entry on the Poet. Some creators get upset when you don't wait for them to create the entry themselves. So they have better control of the screenshots, so they have better control of the info file, of different kind of things like that. One of the things that is more common recently is also to include a screenshot inside the zip of your production. So whenever someone is uploading it, they already have a screenshot ready to use. So think of that when you're preparing your production as well. And if you do that, then you don't care who uploads it to Poet. They will always use that screenshot by default, usually. On Demoscene, most Demoscene administrators follow the party releases automatically. So most party releases will automatically show up on Demoscene. You don't have to go there and add them. Outside of party releases, you usually have to add them yourself manually. But it's always good form to check out Demoscene after the party or during the party, and add screenshots, add additional credits, that kind of stuff. That's usually left for you to do, you the creator of the production, to make sure that those details are correct now while the memory is still fresh. If your production is of some other kind of release, like an ASCII or an ANSI, usually there are some other forums for that, 16 Colors, ASCII Arena, you release that stuff. Usually it's expected that you release it there yourself. Same thing with tracked music. If you expect it to be on specific mod archives, you should usually upload. Usually there's a contact point for doing that. Some people who maintains the website, but check where other people releases are. And if your release is not there automatically, contact the administrator and try to get it there. For graphics, we used to have Art City that just showed the latest graphics releases from the recent demo parties. It hasn't been very active lately, so there is no really good solution for graphics besides Demoscene at this point. And yeah, don't know what else to say, but usually it's good for them to wait for the creator. If the creator takes like a week, to add the stuff to Puet, and they probably don't care if it's on Puet or not. So usually then it's like free pickings for whoever is going through the results and see something missing to add it. Usually the organizers of the parties do that work, but a lot of demo parties in my experience don't really care to go add all those things. But it's good for historical future that when we go check, browse the party's history, all of the things are listed there with links ready to go. Also links to YouTube if people are lazy and want to just see it. Links to external websites if there's any making of any write-up of how you did your production. Also, it's nice to have that link there. Proper credits to all of the things. So keep that in mind. Do that as much as possible. Yeah. Next question. That's all. There's no more questions on my list. So these are the basics of how to release something at the demo scene. If you have any specific question, if I was a bit confusing in any specific regard, feel free to put it on the comments and I'll happily respond. If there's also something that I said wrong by any reason, or I forgot some detail on some specific platform, also please feel free to correct me on the comments of the videos of the video as well. That's it for this video. Hope it was useful. Thank you everybody for watching. Until then, see you next time. Bye bye everyone. Take care.